journalist, researcher, formerly with the NSA, Wayne Madsen, is going to be joining us coming up in about 2 minutes. But if you look at the Hill newspaper today, FCC push to regulate news draws fire. I just played the head of the FCC, the chairman, say freedom on the internet, freedom on radio, freedom in the media is an aberration. The government will give you a license, and you will not make political distinctions. You will not have political views in America. And that's because the big mainline TV and radio, they already pay for that with your stimulus money. It's state-run media. And they'll publicly punish some of them and make a scene out of it. As Jay Rockefeller said, I'd shut down Fox and MSNBC if I could. We'd be better off without the internet. Well, what they're giving you isn't the free internet. But remember, Kurt Nimmo, we read their proposals months ago. This was in June. This is 3-4 months ago or more. FCC stealth plan to censor internet content. And this week they announced we have jurisdiction over the internet to protect it. Kind of like Hitler was the guardian of the Reich and Stalin was the guardian of Russia. So the point is, this stuff is now out in the open. Now, enter WikiLeaks. Regardless of what you think about Assange, he's a hero, he's a bad guy. He's a useful idiot, he's an evil mastermind. No matter what your view is of him, he's being used, as I said a year ago and 6 months ago, it'll be used to censor the internet. Now they've got 2 bills introduced to basically censor the web, to make you have web IDs, to put you in prison for life if you let any government secret out that's even mild. I would go to prison for the police sending me the MIAC report where Homeland Security is really for the American people. The government's going into a very criminal phase right now because they're collapsing the world economy by design. They know it. Now, Assange has been arrested, and I said days ago, I believe they're going to flush him down the toilet, just like Lee Harvey Oswald, or just like any of their other puppets. I believe that, because from what I've seen, that he really believes he's doing a good job. He's being used as the front man. There's all these lawyers and people behind the scenes that do have the Soros connections, and now they're holding him on having consensual sex, but the woman complained and said, don't you want to use a condom? And he said, no, honey, let's not. And they said, okay, let's go. Then they had a party for him the next day. And these women, we have the article up on Infowars.com, and AP's reporting on it. There's also mainline reports from Raw Story. It is confirmed that at least one woman worked directly inside a CIA operation against Fidel Castro. That she's this wild feminist, which Gloria Steinem admitted 5 years ago that she was CIA. Miss Magazine was CIA. They don't care about women. They want to break families up so everybody has to pay taxes and so the state can raise children. It's time for women and men to get together against the globalist. But turns out she writes blogs about how to set men up, how to get your revenge. She believes, as is taught by most feminists, that all sex is an act of rape. So, and hey, liberal Sweden, globalist Sweden, I mean, how is that supposedly liberal? They are on record, saying, yeah, no, unprotected sex, he's going to go to prison. And the British say, absolutely, we're holding him, and now they're going after him on money issues. And I would imagine his lawyers advised him, well, the fact that's admitted to turn himself in, everything will be okay. See, the first judge laughed this out in Europe, but they don't care. So this is very, 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 very serious. Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, who I respect, wrote an article yesterday for InfoWars and said, look, don't make it about Assange. Why is the media defending all these dishonest tactics by government? Have we lost our moral compass? And I tend to agree with him. Now, Wayne Madsen I respect. Webster Tarpley I respect. They turn out to be right about 99% of the time. They say it's all a fraud. But I wanted to get him up here to talk about these new developments and to really comment on the full spectrum, Wayne Madsen, that I just threw out there. What's your take?
Well, I think this was bound to happen. Of course, I think the problem with Julian Assange is he had more than his Andy Warhol 15 minutes of fame. He wanted to be in the media spotlight, and now he's paying the price for it. And yeah, I think this Anna Arden, this woman who one of the women that brought the charges against him. The word is that she's tied up with Posada Carriles. This is this Cuban.
He's the convicted bomber. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bomber. He bombed a Cubana Airlines Boeing 707 in 1976 that flew from Bridgetown, Barbados. I was stationed in Barbados a year after that happened, and I know that even the Navy base sent divers there to pick up bodies of children. So this is a nasty player, and if he's hanging around people like that. But look, Assange has hung around these kinds of iffy people in the past. Back during the first Gulf War, he was apparently associated with a group called the Chaos Computer Club, a bunch of hackers out of Hamburg, Germany. I sat in one meeting at the CIA headquarters on these guys hacking into U.S. Defense Department computers. Assange was part of that operation, apparently. But in those days, the Pentagon had no idea what was going on. Now they've got cyber command, and they've got cyber security teams and offensive information warfare people. I think Assange has been overtaken by events. I think he was used, and as you say, now we have the predicted bills in Congress to extend. One of them says extend the Patriot Act to the Internet.
That's right. I was scanning over these two new bills, and it just is it's the complete end of the Internet. I mean, just everything they want. Cybersecurity's already in place. Now they just want to legalize it. They clearly set this guy up. I mean, he fits the M.O. of somebody, and his lawyers told him to go turn themselves in. They're the ones Soros connected. I think he's going to be pretty freaked out when he realizes they're hanging him out to dry. He should be released. I mean, Wayne, probably half the males in America or Europe would be going to jail if, I'd say half the men out there or more, said, come on, baby, I don't want to wear a prophylactic. And then she's like, okay. And then now that's called molestation and rape. But of course it is. That's what the hardcore CIA feminists teach.
Well, I kind of feel sorry for Assange. I mean, here's a guy, he had his aviator sunglasses, he had all the different haircuts, and now he's a guest of Scotland Yard. And now that he's in that system, he may not come out. And I'm sure the Brits are now allowing the Americans to have access to him. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. But I think, we have to look at the bigger picture. Like, one of these bills in Congress it has an Orwellian name called the Shield Law. That's not the kind of shield law we need to protect journalist sources. This is to shield U.S. intelligence contacts abroad from being named in the press. That would essentially shut me down because, if there's a nasty player in Costa Rica where they're planning to launch another Contra war against Nicaragua, I've named some of these characters in Costa Rica and Honduras as CIA operatives that I would go to jail if this law is signed, and I believe that President Obama has every intention of signing such legislation into law.
So this is the Internet's 9/11. The Israelis admittedly launched the Stuxnet against Iran. Now we've got to give up our Internet because of that. The government runs the underwear bomber, Anwar al-Awlaki. I mean, they're just staging it right out in the open. Wayne, shifting gears briefly, what do you think of TSA now all over the streets of America sticking their hands in pants and groping, and now telescreens to be in Mall of America, 800 Walmarts, basically everywhere when they're done, with constant government messages? This is directly out of Stephen King's The Running Man. This is directly out of 1984. I mean, is Napolitano going to start wearing knee-high jack boots and walking around with a riding crop and maybe have a hot blonde assistant? Are we going right to satire here?
Yeah, I don't know what Napolitano does with her girlfriend these days. But anyway, no, you're right. I think what we're seeing here, we all got suckered in on this hope and change nonsense, which Obama was sold like a new form of Pepsi Cola. They even used the same logo as Pepsi. And now we're suffering the consequences. I think, look, I'm looking at the potential for maybe having to get out of here at some point.
Wow, it's funny you say that. I was on 590 AM yesterday, and I just had to talk to my wife on the phone. And, I've said I'll go down with the ship. But at a certain point, other countries are horrible. That's why I wouldn't leave, because it's a global government. But at a certain point, if they telescreens and black uniforms, we may have to get out of here, Wayne. This sucker is going down faster than I thought.
Yeah, I know. I thought at this point in my life I'd be looking at, planning for retirement, and now looking at political exile abroad. That's how bad it's gotten in this country, and I've seen it just go downhill, and it's disgusting. And this new Congress, by the way, is not going to change anything, because I understand that the...
Oh, no, it's all going to be real conservative, and O'Reilly's like, execute anybody that leaks anything, and let's arrest anybody that videotapes cops, and the Republicans are like, yeah, get rid of the internet. I like it. Get rid of free speech. That's how we get tough on that fancy pants Assange.
You know, the freshman Republican class has already been taken through the Heritage Foundation to be given their marching orders. So they're going to be caught up in that Republican crunching machine, and they're not going to, whatever they said during the campaign, that's not what they're going to do when they're in.
Just like Obama, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And meanwhile, Boehner is trying to block Ron Paul from the committee chairmanship on that banking committee. I mean, it's just a bunch of, and Republicans are like, I like Boehner. I mean, they're just, folks, you're going to get hurt real bad. For those of you out there that are still giggling and, picking your nose and everything, you better get it through your head. This is real bona fide tyranny. You got it? And tyranny is aimed at the average schmo. They want your property. They want your money. They're going to take it all. I mean, Wayne, what do you make of the New York Times telling us how great it is that they're going to cut veterans' pay and pensions and make veterans get their own insurance? You're a veteran of the Navy.
Yeah.
I mean, how brazen is that?
Well, this is how they're going to stick the veterans into the Obamacare mess. That's what I see, And, the veterans are going to basically, if every veteran applied for their benefits, it would break the Veterans Administration.
Well, stay there. Let's come back and talk about that, get more into WikiLeaks, where you see this going. This is disgusting.
Go solar for cheap. Want to use solar power but the price is too high? Now you can build your own solar panels for less than $200 at 123cheapsolar.com. Don't laugh. We've sold over 45,000 solar do-it-yourself kits. Watch the step-by-step videos that even non-handyman types can use. We offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to 123cheapsolar.com or call 800-713-0486. 800-713-0486. Reduce your foreign oil dependency when you go green with 123cheapsolar.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
So we have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films.
Forget everything you've been told about long-term food storage. When all hell breaks loose, you'll need the single most effective way to get high-powered Delta Force nutrients to your family fast. Like any Special Forces commando, you need a plan. You need a Black Hawk Down food plan. Introducing the Survival Sprout Bank from Solutions from Science. It's your countertop survival garden. Yes, grow fresh greens right on your countertop in just a few short days. Sprouts are the green shoots that emerge from newly germinated seeds, and they are powerhouses of living